Hi, my name's Dean Powell and I'm the founder of a personal development company called Life Talk. Today we're going to talk a little bit about quantum shift. So quantum means small or minute, and the shift is profound because we go back to where we developed a subconscious story that we all run about ourselves, and we get rid of the story back there, so then everything we've built on top of that story also gets wiped. It's based on the premise that everything that's happening in your life right now is just a representation, a mirror, a reflection of whatever hasn't been sorted out back there yet, which is why it keeps showing up in your life all the time. Quantum shift is also based on the premise that everything in life is about balance, law of yin-yang, law of balance. Life itself is constantly seeking balance all the time. If I break a human being down to our barest essential, so the smallest, minutest particle they can break us down to, beyond all the tissues, skeletal, to a subatomic level, the smallest particle they can break us down to is called a quanta of light. Basically just means a measurement of light. That measurement or quanta of light has a positive and a negative polarity that happen at the same time to the same degree. It's measured at 10 degrees to the 43rd second or 300,000 kilometers per second, so it's literally the speed of light. So we're literally made up of light energy. They've since discovered in quantum physics and quantum mechanics that everything in this universe, it doesn't matter what it is when they break it down, is exactly the same stuff, but it vibrates at different frequencies. So we're made up of the same energy as the floor, the door, the chair, the walls, timber, concrete, soil. We're made up of exactly the same energy, but we vibrate at a much higher frequency than they do. But it's exactly the same energy, which means everything in this existence, in this universe, has a positive and a negative polarity that happen at the same time to the same degree. You can never ever have a positive without a negative or a negative without a positive. They both happen together at exactly the same time to exactly the same degree. That means you can't have a happy without a bad, a right without a wrong, a pleasure without pain, peace without war, in without out. Everything happens at the same time to the same degree. The challenge for us occurs physiologically as we experience everything through our senses, so sight, smell, sound, taste, touch. And our senses are bipolar, which means they can only ever experience one side or another at any given time. And because we only experience one side, we think the other side's not there, so we go chasing it all the time. And in truth, in essence, it never ever sustains us, so it never fills us because it's an illusion that we're chasing. Because the truth is there's always two sides going on here at the one time. So this is where everyone tries to be happy, and everyone chases happy, 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 and then the happier you try to be, the sadder you become, yeah? The more pleasure we chase in our life, the more pain we attract. The more positive you try to be, the more negative we attract. And it's not the universe doing it to give us a hard time, but how can you impose a singularity on a universe that commands duality? So the more we chase one side, the more we perpetuate the other side, because the universe has to balance us out all the time. Even as humanity, we chase peace, 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 peace all the time. And guess what we keep attracting? To the degree we chase peace, we get war. And the truth of it is, in the history of humanity, have we ever had peace on earth? Never, right? Even, I don't know if you believe the story, I used to when I was growing up, but you think if there was ever going to be peace on earth, it would be when the Son of God walks the earth. Because everyone would be like, oh, there's a God, sorry. Even as a result of him being here, it created war. So these two are inseparable. What happens though is if we start to dig a little bit deeper and you start to look for the positive in the negative and the negative in the positive, and you go down that rabbit hole, you start to uncover something else that's going on here. There's an underlying order, divine order, perfection, God, universe, spirit, whatever you want to call it. There's a perfection to everything that happens here. And when you tap into that perfection, instead of having that void, that missingness that never gets filled, you start to realize everything's as it's meant to be. So in the quantum shift process, all we do is we take you back and show you that let alone was the other side there to the degree you've been perceiving it's been missing your whole life. It's not even about these two sides. We show you there's something else going on in the middle. It's almost like you live your life through this telescope. Everything you see, feel, hear, taste, touch, everything you believe, everything you know, everything you've been taught, everything you understand. And we just take that away and show you some things you might not have looked at yet, which disintegrates that and changes your whole perspective of what's going on for you. It's different for everybody because like everybody holds trauma and has different experiences, obviously. But it's one of the most amazing processes that I get to do with people. It's more of an emotional process than anything else. So I always encourage my clients to allow themselves to be open, to be emotional, because everybody gets what they're ready to get to the degree they're ready to get it at. So I can't give it to you, I can't throw it at you, I can't make you get it much as I want to because it's amazing. All I can do is take you through the process best I can. I've been doing it for a lot of years, I think maybe 13 years now, with thousands of clients. And what I've noticed is the clients who drop into the feeling and the emotion of it seem to get it so much easier. So look, the way we develop our story, the subconscious story that we run about ourselves is, as adults, we have this cerebral cortex, you know, your human logical mind, which is your intellect. And your intellect is continually trying to work out, make sense of, understand, and then soothe the nervous system, where all of your traumas lie. Oh, you look, I know they did their best. I know I was loved. I know they had their own stuff going on. I know, yeah? The problem with that is a child does not have an intellect. And a child doesn't even develop an intellect until after 8 years of age. So a child can't intellectualize anything. Between the ages of 2 and 7 years of age, a child's in theta brainwave, which means they equate everything to love. So a child can't intellectualize anything, even as simple as, you know, dad being away working all the time to provide a better life for me than he had because he loves me. A child goes, where's my dad? Why doesn't my dad want to be around me? Mum's here all the time. And because we equate everything to love, why doesn't my dad love me? So the subconscious starts to look for situations and circumstances to confirm why dad doesn't love you. Maybe you'll be talking one day and he doesn't listen, or maybe you don't feel seen by him, or maybe he's, you know, like he's the disciplinarian, so you maybe feel scared around your dad, or, you know, whatever it is. Everyone has a similar core story, but we all have these specific things that are missing for us. So maybe feeling safe, feeling seen, feeling heard, or maybe you felt abandoned by your dad, so there's a sense of abandonment. Maybe it's not dad, maybe it's mum. Maybe, you know, maybe mum wasn't demonstrative in the way that you might have wanted her, or in the way that you saw your friends' mums being really loving and demonstrative with them. And a child can't go, oh, you look, mum's like that because her mum was like that and she didn't know how to do that. A child just goes, why doesn't my mum love me? Because we equate everything to love, yeah? So there's a part of us that shuts down in the nervous system because if my own mum or dad don't love me, why would anybody else? So the nervous system will do anything, and the subconscious will do everything it can to protect this trauma. So it'll let some people in, it'll let some people in, and if they get anywhere close to that trauma, it'll sabotage the relationship because it doesn't want to go through that again. This is why we all have our triggers, yeah? So then your subconscious starts to run your life according to your story, whatever the story is. I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, I'm not important, I'm not lovable, people don't see me, people don't hear me, or people abandon me. So whatever your story is, your subconscious starts to run your life according to that story. And your subconscious controls 60 to 70%, some say 70 to 80%, of how you think, feel, behave, believe. Consciously, you've only got 10% control. So with your conscious mind, what you do is you go, I'm going to find someone completely different to my parents. So I'm going to find someone who's going to love me, see me, they're going to nurture me, they're not going to abandon me, they're going to be there for me, and they're going to make me feel like the bee's knees, yeah? And when you first meet this person, you go, oh, my soulmate, my other half, oh my God, I've been looking for you my whole life. And you even start to use that language, right? Yeah. Oh, I feel so complete when I'm around you. And it's because we do. We feel complete. We feel like everything that was missing back there suddenly is filled, and we feel whole, we feel complete. The world's amazing. The sounds are better, the smells are better, we're in love, yeah? Everything's incredible. Until that honeymoon period wears off. And when that honeymoon period wears off, those cracks that start to appear in the relationship are the very same cracks we experienced as kids. So we leave that relationship and we go to another one. We leave that one and we go to another one. We end up kind of meeting the same person. They might be a different shape, different color, different size, but they, you know, essentially we end up having the same patterns and cycles in our lives. So what it is your subconscious will continue to bring people into your life who confirm your story all the time, whatever your story is. So better to get rid of that story. So the quantum shift process is we go back and we get rid of that story back there. So we stop repeating these patterns and cycles all the time. If this feels like something that resonates with you, if something you want to do, it's probably the most amazing thing I get to do with people. I absolutely love it. It's the most life-changing. I've had people say it's like 20 years of therapy in one session. If it's something that resonates with you, there's a link at the bottom of this page for you to contact me, and I look forward to working with you. And until then, guys, have an amazing day. Take care. Bye.